a pen and a piece of paper so that you can write down any questions. Also, get your phone ready for screenshots, because I'm actually going to show you some things that some scripts that you can use when you're actually texting people in your life. So that'll be useful. And then at the end of the session tonight, we're going to do a very short exercise. So make sure that you have a pen and a piece of paper ready so you can do that for yourselves. So tonight, we're going to go into the first of the 7 core skills that it takes to be a network marketing professional. And we're going to talk about prospecting and inviting. And Eric Worre, who is the guru of network marketing, calls inviting the gateway skill to all the other skills. And the reason for that is if you can't prospect and invite people correctly, then it doesn't matter if you can present amazing, or if you can follow up, or if you have, some of the other leadership skills. If you can't get people to actually meet your mentor or come and see a presentation or watch a video, then it doesn't matter. And if you can master the skill of prospecting and inviting, then it's actually quite easy to learn how to follow up and how to do the presenting, because you learn those things as you're working with your mentor, as you go through the prospecting and inviting process. So the gateway skill is inviting. And a lot of people say, well, I don't like inviting, or I'm not good at it, or I'm not really sure what to do. People are telling me they don't want to join the business, or they don't want to buy products. And whenever someone tells me that people are quote unquote rejecting them, or they're telling them they don't want to join the business, or they don't want to buy the products, I immediately know it's because they've shared too much. Okay, so you don't want to be presenting during the invitation, and you don't want to be sharing information about USANA and about the business while you're doing the prospecting and the inviting process. They're separate for a reason. Okay, so the key is that inviting is only hard when you haven't done a thorough job prospecting. So what we're going to show you tonight is that when you follow the prospecting process and you go slow, then what happens is 9 out of 10 times people will accept your invitation to the invite. So when it comes to the prospecting process, always remember that the other person that you're talking to has desires, they have goals, they have things that they want in their life. And a lot of times, because they don't have these conversations very often, people don't ask them questions, they're not in touch with the things that they really want and desire in their life. And it's sort of locked away like a treasure chest. And the key to being able to open that treasure chest of desire in other people is actually questions. So, do you have the right keys to other people's desires? Really means, do you have the right questions? Are you asking people the right questions to help unlock what it is that they really, really want in their lives, so that you can help them figure out what that is for them and you can offer them solutions? But the key is asking the right questions. So the prospecting process is very simple. Okay, so the key to the invite is actually the process. So we have 3 buckets. Okay, and you want to make sure that you're going step by step. Okay, if anyone rejects you or tells you that they're not interested in the product or the business, generally that's because you've skipped a step. You've gone 1, 3, right? There are steps in between that you've skipped. You've gone too fast, and the person has made up their mind already about what they think that you're offering them. So when you go slow and you go step by step, then you'll get the outcome that you want. One of the biggest mistakes that we see people find, and this is why a lot of times people have objections about people who do MLM or network marketing, is they'll meet someone on social media or out there in their life, and without building any connection or getting to know someone or figuring out who they are and what they want, they're immediately shoving the opportunity or their products, and they're sharing a lot of facts about their business, and they're too quickly inviting people to actually take a look at something before setting the groundwork. So you want to make sure that you're going step by step. So the first bucket that you want to spend some time in is finding out what people's needs are, right? So find out, what is the other person looking for? What do they want in their life? Or what do they really not want in their life anymore? So in our lives, there's only a few basic needs, right? You need food, you need water, you need oxygen, you need shelter, right? There's very basic human needs. But if you look in your own experience, right? When there's something that you want really bad, right? It feels like a need oftentimes. So if you really love traveling, or you really want more money, right, then that really feels like a need for you. So you want to figure out, what are those things that people really, really need, or what are those things that are causing so much pain in someone's life that they really don't want that anymore. You know, a lot of times people get stuck in the rat race. So they have kids at home, but they have to wake up early in the morning, right, just so they can sit in traffic, work all day, sit in traffic on the way home, and by the time they get home, there's only enough time to maybe eat dinner, put the kids to bed, and go to sleep themselves, and then they wake up and repeat every single day. And they desperately want to spend more time with their family, things like that. So that's something that is in someone's life that they no longer want anymore. Okay, so you want to spend time really figuring out, what is it that person needs. Now the question is, next is, what does the USANA business offer as a solution to what the person's need or problem is, right? So let's take a second and look at, what is it that USANA can offer, and why is it that people generally join USANA? So there's lots of reasons why people join USANA, but generally speaking, it's for a small list of things. Either they want better health for themselves, or they want better health for the people in their family, right? Maybe mom or dad is sick, or the kids are struggling, or the people in their family have health concerns, or health is really a priority for them, and they're always looking for ways to optimize their health. Second one is financial freedom, right? They want more money in their life, or they want more time freedom. So maybe they're not super money focused, but they do love quality time with their family. They like hanging out with their friends. They want more time to pursue higher education, or they want more time to pursue a hobby, or spend time doing the things they love, because they're working all the time and they don't get that time freedom to be able to spend time doing the things that they love. Another huge reason why people do USANA is because of the relationships, man. There's a real lack of like-minded people that are in their life that have goals and desires, and they want more for themselves in their lives, and they want to be part of a community that has a vision or a mission that's bigger than just what's going on in their day-to-day life. And they want more intimacy, they want more friendships, they want relationships with people who have similar goals. Another big reason for people is they want to leave a legacy. So sometimes when people have had success in business, and they've had success maybe in some other areas of their life, they want to be able to give that back. And they see USANA as an opportunity that they can maybe mentor people, and they can teach people some of the skills that they've learned in other areas of their life. And they want to be able to give that to other people and help them achieve their goals. Or they want to be able to build something that they can then pass on to their kids. Another big reason that people share why they join USANA and network marketing in general is the personal development, is the personal growth, right? They know they're capable of more, and they don't have a community of people who stretch them and also support them as they go through that process. So they want to be around people who are up to bigger things. They want to grow and develop themselves personally. They want new experiences. They want new skills. They want something that's a little bit outside of the box that's going to stretch them. So the personal growth aspect. And then also people love traveling. You know, most people spend almost their whole lives in one city or one area, and they don't get to go out and actually experience the world. And in USANA, one of the most beautiful things about what we do is, as time goes on, right, and you have some success, and USANA is going to pay for your travel. You know, you get to, in Indonesia, you can move around from city to city as you grow businesses in different cities, and it gives you a real amazing opportunity to travel. So here's just a prospecting tip for people when you're out there communicating with people. It's don't brag and don't flash your stuff and show people how well you're doing, or brag about yourself, right? Because people, if you're making a lot of money, and you got flash car and you got nice things, and maybe they don't have those things, they can't relate to you. And so there's not that connection or that rapport with the other person, right? In life, we really connect with people who we feel like we can relate to them, or they have their humanness on display, and we see ourselves in that other person, right? So we want people's response to be, "Oh man, that's like me too." Or your communication, if somebody says, they share with you one of the things that they're struggling with in their life, for you to be able to have some humility and share with them that you've been there too, that you can say to them, "Yeah, me too. I've been here, and what I was able to do was X, Y, and Z, and then now I don't have that in my life anymore," right? So you can share with people those solutions, but that requires humility, and it requires your willingness to be vulnerable and be authentic and share yourself. So the second bucket that we're looking for is actually listening to people's language when you're talking to them. Are they a victim, or are they a victor, right? Are they someone who has a victim mindset, or are they someone who's solution oriented, right? People who have a victor mindset are generally people who take responsibility for their lives. So maybe that doesn't mean everything's going well, right? Maybe something is not going well, or they fell on hardships, or something happened. But you can tell in someone's language when they're up to play a game, when they're ready to hear a new solution, and they're ready to take action, and they're focusing on what they can do, right? And not focusing on what's happening to them, right? So victims are generally people who blame other people, or they ridicule other people, or they justify the things that are on in their life, or they make excuses. So if you find someone and they say, "Oh, I'm actually not working at the moment," and then you ask them, and you dig a little bit more, and they're blaming their boss, they're talking about their coworkers, and it's not fair, and that whole thing, that person probably has a victim mindset, and there's a chance that that's not the type of person that you're looking for, right? Ultimately, we're looking for people who are looking for solutions, and we're looking for people who are looking for opportunities. People that have a victor mindset are people that are looking for opportunities. So you want to listen because people are going to share with you. You can hear it in their language, right? So again, questions are the key. So how do we determine someone's mindset? You're going to need some really good keys. So here are some questions that you can ask people to determine whether they have a victim-oriented mindset or a victor mindset. So you can ask someone, for example, if when you're talking to them, you found out that maybe they want some more cash, or they don't have enough money, right? A good question is, have you looked at ways of making more money? Or what have you done in the past to help you make more money? Right? Or how important is it to you that you have more money, or that you have more time, or that you have more health? Or, what would your life look like if you had more time to spend with the kids at home? And sometimes it requires going a little bit deeper, right? And actually finding what they call people's pain points. If they say, actually, I don't get to spend very much time with my kids, and I'd really like to do that. You can actually say to them, well, what would it be like for you if you were able to spend more time with your kids? Oh, it would be great. Oh, awesome. Let me ask you a question. What would it be like, or what would it feel like for you in 5 to 10 years if you're still not able to spend more time with your kids? Right? So these are just some questions. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, I want you to actually practice these questions when you are talking to people. So just because someone has a goal, or they have a desire, or they have a dream, doesn't mean that they're willing to do anything about it. Right? So the third bucket, once you've found out what someone's need is, and you've found out that this is a solution oriented person, which means they're open to new possibilities. Now what you want to find out is, are they willing to do something about it? Right? I saw a video by Will Smith the other day that was saying that the vast majority of people have goals and things that they want in their life. They're just not willing to do what it takes in order to get there. Right? So you want to be able to, as much as you can, determine how motivated is this person? Do they have a willingness to change? So again, the questions are always the key to find out the answer to that question. So here's a couple of examples. If the person is money orientated, or they shared with you that they want more money, very, very simply, let me ask you a question. Are you open to looking at ways of making more income outside of what you're currently doing? Or if they're in ill health, or someone in their family isn't doing, they're having some health complications, you can say, hey, listen, you've said that your health is struggling a little bit. Are you open to looking at new ways of improving your health, or achieving your weight loss goals? Are you open to new ways of building more muscle, or healing whatever it is they're dealing with? Another one is time, right? People, most people feel like they just don't have enough time. right? So you can ask them, are you open to new ways of creating more time so that you can do things that you want to do? Or a powerful one is, if I could show you a way where you could make more money without taking you away from what you're currently doing, right? How soon would you want to know more about that? Or would you be interested to hearing more about that opportunity? So here are some tips to keep in mind when you're in the inviting process, right? You always want to invite either over the phone or over the internet, because it takes away the pressure. You want to give people a little bit of an out, like a little bit of wiggle room. And sometimes when you do it face to face, it creates a little bit of uncomfortableness. So one of the things that I will always do if I'm at network marketing or networking events is get people's contact information, get a card, and just let them know, look, man, it's been really great getting to know you. Now's really not the right time, what we're doing at the moment, but I got your number. I'll follow up with you in the next 24 to 48 hours, and let's stay in touch and see if we can find a way to work together. Or let's stay in touch. I think I have something that is really going to interest you, right? And then that's where it's important that you have their need and you know what they want, because you can actually say to someone, hey, listen, based on what you've said tonight, I think I have something that could really make a difference for you. Now's not the right time, but I'll follow up with you in the next 24 to 48 hours, right? And then boom, you follow up with them, and then you just feed back to them what they've already told you that they want, and then you can start the process over the phone or over Facebook if you're using social media. Always be excited, right? Even if this isn't text, people can feel the emotion and the passion behind your text messages. I actually personally love using voice messages. So even when I'm using WhatsApp, or even Facebook now has this capability, you can actually leave people voice messages, right? So I can say, hey, Dan, really great meeting you today. I really got a sense that you're somebody that is into health and wellness, and I have something that I think could make a big difference for you. Let's connect. And they can feel my enthusiasm. They can feel that passion in the communication, and that enthusiasm is always going to transfer to the other person. The other key is say less to more, right? Less talking to more people. And definitely don't explain the products, don't explain the business. That's not what the prospecting and inviting process is for. You want the third party or your mentor to be the issue. As a matter of fact, especially if you're new in the business, you want to just say to people, hey, I got something really exciting I want to share with you. And if they say, hey, what is it? You just say, listen, I'm actually really new, but do you have 10 minutes right now? I can send you a quick video, and then we can catch up afterwards and we can talk about it. So the key is to edify an expert or to edify a third-party tool like a video, so that they're the issue and not you, right? Because it's impossible for you to edify yourself. So edify means to say good things about. Make a video sound awesome, or make your mentor sound awesome, so that when that other person gets the video, they're excited. Or when they get to your mentor, they're excited already, right? And the key is to talk about what they want. Obviously, if you've done the prospecting process right and you've asked the right questions, you're clear about what the person already, excuse me, what they want already, so that you can then feed that back to them. The next key is to talk about the destination and not the vehicle, right? So when you have people's wants and dreams and desires, you want to talk about what it is that they want for themselves in their life, not particularly about USANA, or not necessarily about the products. But you want to talk about where you're going. You want to talk about the vision for the future. You want to talk about how they can transform their life. You can talk about what life could look like in 3 to 5 years' time if they put in small incremental steps now towards the destination. So you want to be using that visual language and paint that vision so that you're talking about where we're going and not necessarily the vehicle. And then the last point is always make sure that you schedule an appointment. Don't leave things open-ended. And then you want to make sure that you set the appointment in stone. So make sure that you're reassuring before you end the message. You solidify and recheck in with someone about the appointment. So here's a basic structure for an invite. Okay, and this is going to be if you're doing the invite over the phone. You want to make sure that you're in a hurry so that the other person is clear. Hey, Don, I'm getting ready to jump into a meeting. You can do this over text as well. Hey, I'm getting ready to jump into a meeting, but you popped into my head and I wanted to contact with you really quickly. Right? And then you want to offer some sort of sincere compliment to the person. I know that you're really great with people, or it's been really great getting to know you a little bit. Some sort of sincere compliment, which is something that is real for you that the other person has, and you want to make it about the other person as a human being, right? So it's something about their character or something about them that you admire, right? Not something about their car or their shoes or something like that, right? You want to make it a heartfelt compliment because that's what people will resonate with. The next step is very, very simple, right? You've gone through the prospecting process, and so that you just make the invitation, right? So if you have an event coming up, whatever, or you're sending a video, or you're edifying your expert, you're just making the invitation based on the process that you've already gone through. We talked about this before, but you want to always make sure that you edify either the third-party tool that you're using, right, the video, or your mentor. Make sure that you're talking about someone else or the event that they're going to be invited to or the video. And then the fifth step is always use if I, would you. They've actually done some psychological studies on this. And if you offer something in return for something, people are always much more likely to accept your invitation or to do something for you if it's reciprocal. Right? If you're just asking them to do something, a lot of times people wonder, they'll feel like you're trying to get them to do something, or they'll feel like you're trying to sell them something, or there's that one directedness where they feel like there's just something coming towards them. But if I say, hey, if I shared a little bit of information with you, or if I shared a video with you, would you do me a favor and watch it and let me know what about that video you like best? People are always more open to that. So that if I, would you is super important. One of the best examples that I've heard by one of the other USANA leaders is it's not about inviting, but it's about, he said that if he's coming home from work, right, and he wants his wife to make dinner, he doesn't call and say, hey, can you have dinner ready for when I get home, or something like that, right? Because people, most of the time, they're just going to resist communication like that. But if you said something like, hey, sweetie, I'm on my way home. If I stopped by the store and got some of the ingredients, do you think that you could have dinner ready when I get home? Something like that, where there's a reciprocal nature. Then people are happy to do something for you because you've shared that you're happy to do something for them. So the sixth step is get confirmation. So get the time commitment. You generally want to give people 2 different times. So if they say, if I say, hey, if I sent you a video, would you watch it? And they say yes. What I always say is great. If I sent it to you, if I sent the video to you right now, when do you realistically think that you can watch it for sure? right? So you can get that time commitment from them. If you're booking an appointment, you want to give people a couple of options. Because if you just say to people, this is one of the biggest mistakes people make, when you're going to book an appointment, if you say to someone, when are you available? Because they're in their mind, there's so many choices. People's reactions are generally, I'm not. Or what comes up for them immediately is I'm busy, right? It happens to me a lot. Like if I have someone that's in my team and they want to book a time with me and they say to me, when are you free? Oftentimes my immediate response is, I'm busy, right? But if you give people two choices, they immediately feel much more at ease because they're just choosing between two things. So if you say, hey, what's better, mornings or evenings? This is what I generally do. Ask people, hey, are weekends or weekdays better? Weekends. Okay, good. What's generally better for you? Mornings or evenings? Evenings are better. Okay, good. What's better, Saturday or Sunday? Something like that. If they say Saturday, so great. So if I contact or if we booked a time to meet up on Sunday evening at at about 6 o'clock, would that work for you? So you're going step by step and you're giving people options. And then the last step is to just nail it in place. So that when you've gone through this process, you just say it back to them. Great. So I'll see you on Sunday night at 7:30 at whatever location. And then get off the phone. So one last sort of way that you can add something to the end of this as well is if you guys use Google Calendar and you're comfortable doing this, I will generally ask people for their email, and I will actually put the time that we have set up in my Google Calendar like I always do, and I will actually put in that person's email and invite them to that appointment. So they actually get an appointment invitation. So you're actually demonstrating to that person that you're a professional person and this is something that's serious. So we've talked a little bit before about edification. So I just want to touch very briefly on why the edification process is so critical to your success in network marketing. Because in a lot of ways, especially when you first beginning, it can be the most important thing, right? So you can see here, there's A, there's B, and there's C. So A is going to be the expert, right? So that's the person, that's your mentor that you're working with. And your B, so you're the bridge there. And then you have your prospect or your customer. And the key is that between you and your friend or your customer, your prospect, generally speaking, there's that relationship of trust. Either you have it already or you've built it up through the rapport that you've built with them. And the key is you use that trust to create respect for the person that you're edifying, right? So for me, if I'm working with William and I'm working with Regina, I'll say to people, listen, let me introduce you to my one of my best friends and my mentor in this business, William. He's from New Zealand. He's had a tremendous amount of success in business already. I met him 5 years ago, and he's really done a lot for me in terms of developing my mindset and helping me to become more successful. I really want to introduce you to this guy because I think he could make a big difference for you, right? Immediately, that person wants to meet William badly because obviously I've edified them in a way where meeting him shows up for them like an opportunity. And then another great thing is if you have, for example, my wife loves yoga and she's really into self-care and she's really into beauty, right? So if I meet someone out at a networking event or something, and they're clearly somebody who that's their value system, then you always want to mirror in your edification. So if I meet someone, I can say to them, I should really introduce you to my wife. She she used to be a teacher for like 10 years, and she felt like she was kind of stuck in a job, and she also loves yoga just like you. And now we actually, we run a business together, and she's able to do yoga, and she's built a whole brand around the things that she loves. I should introduce you to her, and I think that you guys would really get along. Something like that, right? So you're actually using the mirror of what their wants are to help edify the other person. So it's a really crucial aspect of it, because when you're first beginning, or even if you've been in this business for a while, right? I'm a gold director. I can't say to people, "Oh, you should really meet me. I'm amazing, and I can really change your life." It just doesn't resonate with people, and you can't edify yourself, right? But I can say something like that about William, and people will really get it, and they'll really want to meet him. Right? So you can't edify yourself, but you can edify someone else. Or you can edify Dr. Wentz and his vision. You can edify this amazing video that when you saw it, it changed your life, right? You just really get really good at edifying someone else, or an event, or a video, and that's going to make a huge difference in your business. So here's a good question for the people that are out there: is how productive are you? Okay. So much of the time, people will say to me, "Well, I just don't have time to do my DMO, right? My daily method of operation." And the reality is, it only takes 1 or 2 minutes to send a message to someone, right? So if your goal is to contact 15 people a day, you should be able to do that in 30 minutes. So you can actually get your business done every single day in 30 to 60 minutes, depending on whether you're part-time or you're full-time. So here's a little exercise that I want everybody to do: is get out your pen and paper that hopefully that you brought with you, and draw a little line down the middle there. And I want you to make a list of 10 people who you've been meaning to follow up with, but for whatever reason you got busy, whatever the case may be. Make a list of 10 people right now that you've been meaning to follow up with, and you haven't for whatever reason. And I'll give people 2 minutes to do that. And if you're out there, you really, really want to actually do this exercise so you can actually demonstrate for yourself, because you're going to get the people that you're working with and the people that you're mentoring with, you want to be able to show them how actually easy this is. Okay, so now that you have your 10 people that you want to follow up with, very quickly, I'll give you 2 more minutes, and I want you to just very quickly write down a list of 10 people new people that you want to be in communication with, that you've wanted to be in communication with, but you've been scared, or whatever the case may be. Whoever pops into your mind, just the first 10 people. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Okay, so now you have 10 people that you want to follow up with and 10 new contacts. So with those two lists, okay, we're going to start with the follow-up list, okay, and I want everyone to actually do this and just show yourself what you can do, okay? So I'm going to give you another 2 minutes, and I want you to use something very basic like, hey, how's it going, long time, something like that. Like keep something very, very, very basic, and I'm going to give you 2 minutes, and I want you to very quickly follow up with all 10 people and see if you can do it within 2 minutes. Go. Don't overcomplicate it. Make it simple. You just starting the conversation is all you need to do. One minute down, one to go. Okay. Now stop. It doesn't matter how many that you got, but you want to switch to the new contacts on the other side of the piece of paper. And I'm going to give you 2 more minutes to just the real basic, hey, how's it going, or whatever introductory sort of thing that you want to use. You do that with your new people now. Okay, you got about 5 seconds, so finish up whatever message that you're sending now. Okay, so I just want everyone to get present too. That was 2, 4, 6, 8. So in about somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes, right, you were able to make 2 short lists of people and contact, my guess is somewhere between 5 and 10 new people, or 10 follow-ups and like 5 and 10, depending on how quickly you were able to do that. And so the reason why we like to do this process is actually to show people that if you only focus on doing these small activities, you can actually get a lot more done in time than you think, right? So we encourage people, if you've seen some of my other trainings, to use a DMO, a daily method of operation, where each day you're focusing on a certain amount of follow-ups and a certain amount of new people to help you keep your business going. And this is how easy it is each day to be able to do this process. Now, you've got these conversations started, and I want you to use the sentences and the questions that we had earlier in the presentation, and use those with people. Now that you've started these conversations, start practicing the process of being curious with people and asking them questions and drawing out their desires and things from them, and start practicing this process. And if you have a mentor that you're working with, make sure that you're working closely with that mentor to help you with what to say as people follow up during this process. So that's all that I have this evening. What I want to do now is open the floor up to people who have questions about this process. Is anybody still out there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
So I think that was awesome, Nathan. Thanks very much for sharing that. That was awesome. It's also always great to go back to the basics and find a little bit that's missing so we can just keep getting better. So it doesn't matter how long we've been in the business, we can all keep learning and get better and sharpen our saw. So that's good. So I contacted about 10 people there just when you done that. So I've now got people contacting me right now. So I've got just by doing that, but 4 minutes, and I contacted 10 people.
Awesome.
So when you look at that, how crazy that is, that we don't need to have it all perfect. And the great thing with a text is, if somebody hadn't asked you a question about certain things, you can send the question to your upline or your mentor or whoever you're working with, and then they can help you respond. And you've got time to answer. You don't need to answer straight away. We're on a phone. If you're comfortable to talk, then it's quite effective. And if you're not, then you're under pressure, where texting gives you time to get some coaching on what you're going to reply. So that, I think. But the key is just taking action is the key. You can't get good until you start.
Exactly.
So that's good.
Yeah, and for those of you who are out there, one strategy that you can use is, when I'm working with people, is actually right now I have a couple of people that are on this call, and if they get stuck or they have questions, you can just take a screenshot and send it to whoever your coach or mentor is, and ask them, basically, this person said this to me. What should I say now? right? So if you have whoever your coach or mentor is, you can take on talking to them about whether that's something that they're comfortable doing with you. And then when you have new people in the business, it's a really powerful way for you to be able to really guide people through this process, because it's the thing that scares people the most is I don't even want to ask somebody a question because I'm afraid that I won't be able to respond to their response. So if they feel comfortable and they feel like they have a safety net by being able to use you as their mentor to ask you questions and to help with responses, then a lot of times it gives that people that freedom to then be able to go out there and contact and invite people that maybe they wouldn't because of the fear. So that's a really great strategy, is a simple screenshot of the little bit of the conversation before, and then the last question that the person asked you, and then you can ask your mentor what they would say, and then also why. Get a little bit of the psychology behind why they would say what they say, so that you can really start to learn that process more deeply. So is there anybody that has a question about the actual inviting process, or responses with people, or anything about prospecting and inviting that they want some help with, or anything they want to share about what they learned in the session tonight?
Guys, this is a chance to have a goal director give you free coaching. Here's one of the things that normally happens is we're doing a training at the weekend called Conquer Your Inner Critical Voice at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning at Manara Jamster. And everybody's got a little voice in their head, right? And they don't want to look silly, they don't want to talk in public because they might embarrass themselves. Because what happened is, when you're at school, when you're a kid, the teacher shouts, "What's 1 + 1?" And everybody puts their hand up and you go, "It's 3." And then you feel stupid, everybody laughs. And then what happens is 30, 40 years later, we still don't want to put our hand up because we don't like that feeling. That's one of the feelings that you have to work on to push past the network marketing, or we'll always worry what other people think. And the only way to get past that is to start developing your courage muscle. And the great thing about these trainings, and with Nathan and us, is it's a safe space. Nobody's going to judge you because every one of us have went through the same process. There's nobody that can build USANA that don't go through this process. It's just part of, they call it the entrepreneurial roller coaster, where we don't want to say something. We feel 1 minute we feel bulletproof, everything's gone great. Next minute, oh, we have fear. Maybe I can't do this. Maybe it's only other people can do it. That's part of the journey. And putting up your hand and asking questions is also part of the journey. So there's no judgment that anybody's putting their hand up or not putting their hand up. But if you do want to ask a question, this is a great safe space to just put your thoughts, or you might have a challenge in the business, whatever it might be. Put it on the table, and maybe we can help you with it. And if you don't, that's okay as well. There's no problem. Back to you, Nathan.
And if anybody has a question that they do want to share or ask, and they're hesitating, my guess is that's also like William was saying, it's the thing that's getting in the way of you building your business. It's the thing that's getting in the way of you stepping outside of your comfort zone and asking your mentor for help. Because as a mentor in this business, I can promise you the thing that makes me the most excited is when I get someone new that's in the business and they're not afraid to ask for help. I know that that person has a growth mindset, and there's a much bigger chance that they're actually going to be successful. I had a woman, I don't know if she's still on the call, Bianca, in Australia yesterday, and she messaged me out of the blue and said, "Nathan, I'm doing my DMO today, and I'm getting stuck. Can you jump on Skype with me and literally just be with me as I'm sending messages? And I'm like, no problem. So we jumped on Skype. She shared her screen and she just started contacting people. And because I could actually guide her through the process, she's like, bang, bang, bang. And she just got through, I think, 25 new contacts in 32 minutes. And I told her afterwards, I'm so proud of you because I know that someone who's willing to ask for help is someone who's going to be successful. Okay. Well, if you guys have any questions, you can if you have my contact, feel free to reach out to me, reach out to the group. But please, if you've learned anything tonight, please use your mentor. Please, if your mentor is maybe not active or not around, please ask their mentor or find someone that can mentor you in this business and can help you in this with this particular area as you learn and grow, and use them as a resource because it will accelerate your growth and development, and it will help you grow your CVP and help you reach your goals. So, love you guys. Thank you so much for being willing to be on the call tonight. It's so exciting to see so many new, fresh faces out there, part of our community. And welcome to our STI Wednesday night trainings, if this is one of your first trainings. And we'll look forward to seeing you all next week, 8 p.m. online.
Cheers, brother. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Everybody have a good night. We'll see you soon. Just remember, Saturday, Super Success Saturday at Manara Jump Stick. It's going to be an amazing Saturday training.
Yeah, 1 p.m. Super Success Saturday on Saturday. William and I are going to be sharing some little nuggets. Okay, bye guys.